Why is he an elephant?
That's a really long story. If you can have a half elephant, half human,
we already established
what's the
that.
problem to have half monkey, half human?
It's Avengers or Avengers after Endgame.
Yeah, sure.
I was thinking like the primordial Greek gods and the Olympians, but okay, yeah, I like that.
I think it's the other way around.
Oh, no way. Great.
Hello and welcome to this episode of I Should Have Known, the trivia game show that can't be trusted. Each week, one of our quizmasters will present you with 4 facts about a topic, but one of those facts is a lie. We're finishing up our celebration of the wonderful continent of Asia. Today, I will be your quizmaster. I'm Andi, and I will be doing a Find the Fake episode on Hindu deities. So I will present you with 4 deities from Hinduism and Hindu mythology, except one of them is not. One of them is a fake. It's from elsewhere. And not only am I doing the Find the Fake, then I have to fool the Indian. You could also call it that. So join our other hosts, Tanner and Sups, in figuring out which one of my gods is a fake.
Wow. Can I just say how excited and proud I am for this? I think this is going to be so much fun.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really looking forward to it.
I really have zero context on like how well known any of these gods are. I'm very curious. It should be interesting. I hope we don't look like idiots.
Yeah. I am fully prepared to look like an idiot. I am so out of my depth. We will see.
2 of the 3 real ones are on the English language Wikipedia list of Hindu deities.
Okay.
So they're at least popular enough to be on that list.
Right.
Right.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Not like super, super uncommon. Like they're that well known at least.
Yeah. My fake god, it's not in the Hindu mythology as far as I could find, though that's hard to definitively say because there are millions of gods.
Right.
Correct.
So I used a different source.
Okay. So
Nice.
we'll keep that in mind when you're telling us the gods.
I don't know who's under more pressure in this episode, if it's me or you.
I'm sitting pretty because there is no pressure for me. Nothing is expected. I
Yeah.
will deliver on nothing.
The expectations are so low for you. They're literally.
Sit here and look pretty. I can do that.
But then watch him actually get it right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we ready with the PQQ?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Our pub quiz
Okay.
question.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a, I think, well-known deity I had already known about.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So, what is the name of the elephant-headed god of wisdom?
The only elephant god I know of is Ganesh.
Well done.
Yeah. So Ganesh is one of the most well-known deities.
Sure.
Yeah, he's got a big elephant for a head, son of Shiva and Parvati.
Why is he an elephant?
That's a really long story.
Really?
That's
It's
a
not
very-
just like, well, his mom was a mammoth or something?
No,
Like,
no.
His mom is
Oh, man.
Yeah.
one of the mother goddesses.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a very long story.
Here's the
so,
story how
yeah.
he got his elephant head.
Yes.
Okay.
And I would like to say that as a caveat, some of the things I say are specific to some places and maybe will differ from a tradition you're more familiar with
Sure.
because, Hinduism's not a monolith.
Mhm.
Also, it's tricky because it's a living religion. So there are actually people who practice it and worship some of these deities today, but it's also a mythology
Mhm.
in the sense that people might be familiar with the myths and the stories, but they don't actually worship these gods anymore.
Right.
I think you already know way more about Hinduism than I would say a lot of Indians already
Yeah.
or other people interested in this topic.
I really don't know if this is hard or not, so I would like to hear from people. So yeah, are you ready?
Ready.
So ready.
Also, I'm very sorry for any pronunciation. All right, so deity number 1, Kushaksa. Technically, Kushaksa is not a god, but he is a deity or kind of a semi-divine being.
Mm.
He is one of the Vanaras, like a race of humanoid monkey people.
Oh.
And they were created by Brahma to help Rama in the Ramayana. So this is a major epic story.
I know some of those names.
Okay. Do you want to maybe tell us real quick the plot?
The basic plot is Ram was sent to the jungle for 14 years with his wife and his brother, and they went to Sri Lanka. And Ravan, who is still worshipped in Sri Lanka, he kidnapped Sita.
Mhm.
And then there was this big war.
Mm-hmm.
Then Ram defeated Ravan,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the good over evil. And then he came back to the kingdom after 14 years.
Uh-huh.
And that's when you celebrate Diwali. when you come back.
Oh.
So I gave you just for context, Brahma's the creator of the universe.
Right. So it's a race of people, we could say. I thought they were kind of like the Amazons.
Sure.
Yeah.
They fight in wars and they're kind of mythological, but are they gods? And there are many different ones. Probably the most famous is Hanuman. If you Google Hindu monkey god, that's who you find.
Right.
Yeah. So Kushaksa,
Yes.
he is actually one of the only kind of bad ones, evil ones.
Ooh.
Because they were like on the side of good, right? They're helping Rama get his wife back.
Yep.
And he's like basically depicted as like a jacked baboon kind of guy.
Awesome.
So depending on the tradition, he has like smell, like sweat or pheromones that like attracts women. So in the war, his army is all women.
Oh,
So,
nice.
Yeah.
That's
So
how he recruited them with his smell.
yeah,
his musk.
because many of the Vanars they lead, most of the known ones are like generals.
They're like archangels.
Sure.
Made by God to fight wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then when they are looking for Sita, who is trapped in a palace,
Right. 'Cause she got kidnapped.
he gets a little too excited and tries to steal her for himself for a little bit. So he's kind of bad. He and Hanuman get in a little tiff over this. So he's like the only one who does anything really questionable among them. But yeah.
It sounds kind of problematic because he kind of sounds like a villain, but he also sounds really interesting, which is always kind of dicey for religions. Like you don't want to make your villain cooler than your heroes.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love this.
I think Indian listeners are going to really judge me, but I don't remember this. So I believe you. Everything checks out.
Right.
The Vanar race, sure. Hanuman, for context, was all devoted to Ram and Sita. So there is at one point where he tears open his heart and there is like an image of Ram and Sita.
Oh, nice.
So,
nice.
yeah.
Very devoted.
Yes.
So you're familiar with that guy and his whole race and his whole story. The question is this semi-evil jacked baboon one real or not?
Real or not? Wow.
It's not ringing any bells for you.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I would imagine if in an entire Vanar race, like there has to be some like grayish character, right?
See, that's what I was thinking. Like if I was to poke a hole in this, I would be like, well, you can't have any evil ones. But then like, in every good story, there's like someone who gets carried away or a little greedy or a little proud and they have to be put back in their place.
Right.
Now, that's a great way to teach a lesson if you're thinking religion, or like a good story if you're thinking mythology. So sounds pretty believable.
If you have magic sweat that
I want to know what perfume
controls
is.
women.
I love that. For me, if there is in Hinduism this race of like monkey gods,
You're right.
if that is already, checked, then I totally believe it.
Yeah.
But that first part is really, really hard for me to believe.
No,
like,
the first part is 100% true.
Monkeys?
Yeah.
Really?
Monkey god.
Okay.
If you can have a half elephant, half human,
we already established
what's the
that.
problem to have half monkey, half human? I think
It's
that's
even
more
closer.
believable.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I have nothing to cross-question you or everything checks out. So
What's the name one more time?
Kushaksa.
Kushaksa. Sounds good. Let's hear 3 more.
Deity number 2, Pushan. Pushan is the god of meetings. So
The god of meetings?
you pray to him before you get
He's
onto
the god
Zoom.
of Zoom?
Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
So specifically, he is the god of marriages, road, travelers, and feeding cattle. I guess that's a kind of meeting.
Okay.
So like where roads meet,
Mm-hmm.
marriages are obviously a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
He is a Vedic god specifically, so he comes from the Vedas. It's a collection of texts, and most of the gods are kind of separated into being Vedic or pre-Vedic.
Right.
Okay.
So there's kind of like an old pantheon of
Mhm,
gods
mhm.
and then like a newer one.
Got it.
And then there are a lot of other variations in between, but there's kind of that 2 major distinctions.
Right. It's Avengers or Avengers after Endgame. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Sure.
I got it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, sure.
I was thinking like the primordial Greek gods and the Olympians, but okay, yeah, I like that. I like that. So he rides a chariot pulled by goats.
Oh,
He wields a golden axe.
nice.
Okay.
So he sounds badass,
Yeah.
except he's kind of depicted like an old man. At least to me, it seems he dresses very poorly.
Okay.
He's not depicted in fine robes. He's depicted in like very plain clothes. And at one point he loses his teeth, so he doesn't have teeth. So
that's in the story?
Yep. It varies how he lost his teeth, but he doesn't have teeth. So to me, he seems like old man vibes.
Yeah.
He's associated with craft work, and he's married to the daughter of the sun and considered one of the most beautiful women to have ever lived.
Oh, wow.
Which I think is hilarious because he's like a toothless old man.
Really old guy.
It gives people hope, you
Yeah.
know?
Even he
Beauty
can land
lies in the
somewhere.
eyes of the
She
beholder.
was
Yeah.
bestowed upon him.
She liked how many goats he had. Okay. I think it sounds a lot like Hermes or
Yeah.
Mercury. And then kind of has some elements of Thor.
Yeah.
His wife is like the most beautiful blonde-haired goddess, and he rises through the sky. But the old man loses his teeth thing and the goat chariot, that sounds so made up.
I mean, the name sounds very believable name, Pushan. Okay. Yeah. I know some people who are named Pushan.
Oh, no way.
Now, just it's coming back. So maybe, because in India, like every name has like a meaning, right? And it's connected to something.
Right. And are people named for gods?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
normally. You can just walk around. Oh, that's...
Yeah. So
like,
Krishna, for example. Many people are named Krishna. Surya is sun. So many people are named Surya. So yeah, sure. Yeah. You just take... Even Shiva is a name.
Okay. Like being named for like prophets or saints, kind of. Yeah.
Correct. Couldn't they, if this Pushan and this Pushan is like the same one?
Could very well be that it's just a name and it just...
But also you have to keep in mind, Andi did say at the top of the show that the god that she created has been inspired from other sources, which we may or may not know. So this perfectly fits in that category.
That's why I'm skeptical, because I wouldn't have guessed that they had a god for meetings. And then it really sounded like a different religion to me. But the other details sound okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay with god for meetings.
Yeah.
The goat part is the sketchy part.
The goat part is the problem.
Okay.
Yeah. This god, I would put it in the basket of maybe. I'm not.
You're not
convinced.
totally devoted to it yet?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. I think I'm in the same boat as you.
Okay.
But we're only halfway through.
All right. So deity number 3, Mariamman, who is the goddess of weather.
Nice. Okay.
So specifically, she's from Tamil Hinduism, where she's actually the mother goddess. Particularly, she's associated with rain and healing. She has a much cooler ride. She rides a lion and carries a trident.
Okay.
And is depicted as a young woman with a red face and dress. She is still actively worshipped, especially in parts of southern India. She's associated with cooling. So this idea of rain bringing coolness and healing hot diseases, particularly smallpox. So some people actually say she's the goddess of smallpox, but that makes her sound scary. She's the goddess of healing smallpox, also measles and other poxes. She's also associated with fertility and is popular even beyond the Indian subcontinent.
Yeah, that's something interesting is that Hinduism is very much tied to Indian history, but there's no reason that you can't be Hindu and not Indian.
Yeah.
Right? So when we talk about Hinduism, we a lot of times think Indians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not everyone in India is Hindu and not every Hindu is Indian. Interesting.
I have very little knowledge about the south of India.
Uh-huh.
More so about specific gods.
Right.
But again, if I were to go purely by the description, this sounds more believable than deity number 2.
So she's the goddess of rain and healing and smallpox and...
Yeah. Coolness.
What was the other one?
Okay.
Fertility.
Yeah, and also fertility.
Right. What do you think?
Sounds very logical. There's nothing that jumps out like, oh, weird, like the lion chariot thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Or like she rides a lion or whatever.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
She's in charge of rain. Then a trident makes sense. Like whatever, like a spear of some kind.
That makes sense to you?
Sure. Rain,
Okay.
the ocean, water. I mean, I don't see a direct link between the lion, the trident, and the rain and the healing.
And the red face.
And the red face and red
So
dress
again,
or whatever.
just for context, there are many female gods in Hinduism who do have lions. So every god has an animal as a vehicle.
It has a mount.
Okay.
So for example, Ganesh, his animal is a rat.
Oh, what? An elephant rides a rat?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he doesn't ride a rat, but rat you'd associate with.
Okay.
So every god has an animal.
It's like they're
Yeah.
familiar or
Right.
something. Okay. Cool.
So the lion part and the trident part if it's a mother goddess, then needs to have like something to attack.
Sure.
Right. So
Okay.
I would imagine. And also the fact that this is about like cooling.
Yeah.
That checks out because of the south part of India gets really hot.
Yeah.
I mean,
that kind of makes sense to me that like rain and healing and fertility kind of go hand in hand.
I know, but I've never. I mean, we've had 3 gods now.
Yeah.
I've never heard like one single name.
Oh no.
I'm getting really nervous that I made this way too hard.
Oh yeah, this is pretty tough.
Yeah. I'm also not the benchmark, guys.
Yeah.
The way Hinduism is practiced in every region is so different.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why something that Andy mentioned at the start of that this is a living religion.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So the ways of practice, the gods who you practice, it's impossible to know unless you are like a scholar or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We have one more.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that.
Let's
So,
hear it.
deity number 4, Aranyari. She is the goddess of large forests and the wild animals that live within it. There's apparently a famous hymn in the Rig Veda about her. She is almost never seen.
Ooh, it's like spooky, like a ghost, or is she hiding in the woods?
Yeah, so she is in the deep forest and she is rarely seen, but she is sometimes heard because she's known to wear bells on her ankles. As she dances through the forest, the bells tinkle, so you can hear them in the forest. Also, she's known to cry or scream when you cut down trees. So,
She's like the Lorax.
for the lucky few who do get to see her, she's said to have long golden hair wreathed in flowers, especially roses. Her face is as radiant as the sun.
But she's not often seen.
She's
like
very rarely seen.
Rarely seen. Okay.
Yes, it's really a great honor to be able to see her.
Okay.
So what I can say about this, again, I have never heard of this name. But if Andy has created this god, I think she has done an excellent job.
Right.
Because the word aranya does mean forest.
Okay.
In Sanskrit. So that part checks out.
Mm-hmm. Are forests a big part of the landscape in India?
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. I think in every state.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think of India as super populated, like giant mega cities.
Yeah.
But that's just the cities, right? It's a giant country.
Yes. But you still have to understand majority of the population lives in villages.
So then the deep forest would be not commercialized and like it would still be untouched, sort of. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So yeah, Aranyari.
The part that jumps out to me is kind of weird is that she has bells on, but she's hard to find. And that just kind of sounds weird, very unique. You know, she dances in the woods, but she cries when you chop down trees.
Right. In India, trees do matter a lot. I mean, like people even pray to trees. There are certain trees. So that way, this nature part really is very important.
Right.
So that part is not weird to me. Well, and the dancing, Aranyari. Yeah, wow.
It's pretty hard.
It's super hard even for me. I mean, I think Andy has done an excellent job.
Yeah. Covered so many different kinds of gods too.
Yeah.
Every kind of god.
Super cool.
But it was difficult.
I would bet our Indian listeners, if you could crack this. Like,
Whew. Well, I think we're ready to hear the 4 again before we take our pick as to which is the false god.
All right. Deity number 1, Kushaksa. Deity number 2, Pushan. Deity number 3, Mariamman. And deity number 4, Aranyari. One of those is not a Hindu deity or anything.
Yeah, not a Hindu deity.
Not associated with Hinduism in the least.
Okay.
Wow.
I am very out of my depth here. I'm very impressed.
Can't imagine you getting this right.
I've just learned about 4 new people and I know nothing about them, but 2 of them seem less likely to me than the other 2.
Which?
Kushaksa and Mariamman kind of sound like they check out with all the details she gave. I really want to hear more stories about the jacked baboon guy. But I think the second one and the 4th one kind of sound iffy to me.
Oh, wow.
I could see them being from a different culture, a different religion.
Okay.
What are you thinking?
I think it's the other way around.
Oh, no way. Great.
Yeah, this Kushaksa character seems a bit iffy to me. It's possible, but Mariamman, the name
Mm-hmm.
is not a very female goddessy name. I think if I have to pick, I think it will be Mariamman.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's Pushan. I think it's the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's from some other culture, totally unrelated to Hinduism.
Yeah. But the name exists, like Pushan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mariamman.
Yep.
Let's go. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
The water goddess from the south. And I get the old man with no teeth. Come on. Don't be the jacked baboon. Come on.
All right. So, Tanner, when Sups tells you that something exists in India, you should just trust him. Because Pushan is, yes, absolutely. He's probably one of the most famous of them. Actually, some people believe that the root of his name is the same as the root for Pan in Greek mythology. And they have similarities.
Mm-hmm.
The goat legs.
Oh, the goat.
Being kind of trickstery related to travelers. So, yeah, he's a real one. Mariamman is real. I mean, it's Tamil, so it's like a different language. Sups, you got to stick with your gut.
Yeah.
No way.
Kushaksa is not a real thing.
Oh.
And I was like, I've read the Ramayana. There doesn't exist a character like this.
One big giveaway is baboons don't live in India.
Baboons are African.
Yes. So it comes from the Marvel universe. There is a Marvel villain from 1973 called Mandrill.
Yes.
Who is a giant jacked mandrill.
Yes.
Whose pheromones hypnotize and manipulate women. And then he creates a femme force of women and fights S.H.I.E.L.D. and Black Panther and various other people. So he's a Marvel villain. But the name Kushaksa is one of the many Sanskrit words for monkey.
Oh, okay. So you took the name.
It refers to, it can mean monkey, or keen-eyed seer, or it also can refer to monkey-like jokes. So I thought it was a good name for
like
a fake.
Wow.
That's why I asked you, did he ever have a fight?
I made that up.
That's awesome.
Until this podcast, I thought my Ramayana knowledge was really good. I know the Ramayana, which is why this Kushaksa character like stood out. But then I was like, maybe I'm forgetting something.
Right.
So none of the Vanaras do anything that like they're good.
There's no
they're
evil
all
version.
good people.
They're on Rama's
and they're all devoted to Ram.
There's no like fallen angel version of them or something.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, well, the baboon thing's the big giveaway.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, there's an evil one. Like, no, there's no evil one.
Really well done.
I want to read about those. Yeah.
Nice.
That is so good. Yeah. I should have known.
I should have known.
Thanks for listening to this episode of I Should Have Known. We'll continue that discussion in our bonus episodes. And if you don't know about that, for patrons on Patreon, which is a subscription service where you can pay money per month to support the show, you also get things. So we have bonus episodes, I Should Have Known More, where we dive in more to the process of making the I Should Have Known show. So if you become a patron, you'll get access to that. So this is our last episode celebrating Asia. Next week, we're going to start our theme for December, celebrating December. The theme is December and all the things that come with December. And to kick it off, we will have Sups doing an episode talking about festivals other than Christmas. So be on the lookout for that. And as always,